If you own a 4-stroke jet ski, you need a reliable plan to protect it during the off-season. In this video, I'm giving you the exact checklist I use every year to winterize 4-stroke PWCs. These are the tools and materials I feel are essential for winterizing properly. If you see anything that you don't have, you can use the links on the video or in my description to support the channel. We greatly appreciate your support. Now let's get started. First, I like to hook up a battery charger to be sure I don't run the battery down and be sure the battery is strong during the winterization process. A 3 to 5 amp charger is sufficient for topping off the battery and maintaining it in the off-season. The die-hard Schumacher chargers I'm showing here are my favorites because they are compact and they are reliable. The next step I like to do before any disassembly is treat the fuel to full capacity with marine fuel stabilizer so the stabilizer moves through the system during winterization. After treating the fuel, I like to crank up the ski and blow out excess water in the water box and to be sure it starts and idles well for the next step. To prevent tripping and exhaust overheat fault, you don't want to run the engine more than 18 to 20 seconds for this step. In order to efficiently run antifreeze through the cooling system and prevent most of it from dumping on the ride plate, you need to pinch the water inlet hose coming from the jet pump. If you ever have to tow your ski when it dies on the water, this is the same hose you would pinch to prevent filling your cylinders with water while towing. If you store your ski inside, the antifreeze treatment may not be a necessity, but it is good peace of mind. It can also prevent calcium deposit buildup in your cooling system. This is a setup I use for pushing coolant through the cooling system to prevent freeze. I like to use garden hose quick disconnects because it makes connections a lot easier. If you would like to use the same setup I have, check out the products on the video and in my description for all the products I use and recommend. Now that everything is hooked up, it's time to run coolant through the cooling system. You want to always start your ski up first and verify it's idling well. Once it's running smoothly, you can connect up power for the coolant transfer pump or flip the switch if you order that style pump. Run about a half gallon to a full gallon of RV antifreeze through the system, then power down the pump. Once you have turned off the antifreeze pump, you should rev your engine once or twice to blow out any excess, then immediately shut your engine down. You can now disconnect the antifreeze pump and remove your flush adapter from the flush port. Be sure to reinstall the flush port cap. Don't forget to remove the hose pinchers from the inside of the ski. When you do that, you'll see the remaining coolant in the lines drain off the pump inlet. The next step is you need to remove the coil packs and spark plugs to get ready for fogging the cylinders. Unplug the coil packs, and on this model, you remove the 10mm bolts for the coil packs. Now you can remove all of the coil packs and all 4 spark plugs. If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, now's the perfect time to do so. I have a lot more videos to come. The next step is fogging the cylinders. I prefer Yamaha fogging oil over other brands, but you can use nearly any brand. All you do is spray about 3 to 5 seconds in each cylinder and try to prevent getting oil on the spark plug threads. The reason why this step is important is because moisture in the exhaust and inside the ski will migrate into the cylinders and cause a layer of rust on the cylinder walls and spark plugs. Fogging the cylinders for storage prevents that. Now you can reinstall the spark plugs and coil packs. If you install the coil packs now, do not connect wiring plugs at this time. I prefer to use a 12-volt impact driver to install spark plugs and small fasteners to prevent over-tightening them. That's why I'm checking torque with a regular ratchet. Now you need to remove the fuel rail mount bolts and the fuel rail so you can fog the intake tract and intake valves. On Yamaha skis, they don't have clips to hold the injectors in the fuel rail, so try to pull the rail and injectors out together. All you have to do is pull the rail out and expose the injector openings. I like to lay a rag across the intake to soak up any fuel that may spray if an injector pops out. The same thing applies as before, just spray about 3 to 5 seconds in each port, and that's all you need for this step. Once you're done with the treatment, carefully reinstall the fuel rail back into the intake manifold and make sure all injector O-rings are in place. On this model, there are 2 bolts holding the rail in place. Be sure to torque them properly. In order to finish the fog and oil treatment, you need to hold the throttle lever wide open to put the ski in drown mode and cycle the starter to distribute the fog and oil. If you didn't install your coil packs before, now you can install the coil packs and bolts to secure them and hook up the wiring plugs. In order to prevent starting the ski up after this procedure, it is a good idea to pull your lanyard or disconnect one battery terminal to kill power to the ski. It is not recommended to charge your battery in the ski during storage, so now you should disconnect your battery and remove it from the ski. If you happen to leave your battery in the ski and you're charging it, be sure to leave your battery compartment cover off so fuel vapors can vent out of the ski freely. Now you should treat your battery terminals and connections with Vaseline, grease, or treatment spray to prevent corrosion while in storage. The next step may be an optional step, but is highly recommended for all Yamaha skis to lube the midshaft bearing assembly. This is a perfect time to do it. On some models, they have a remote located grease fitting near the top of the engine, but on this model, it is easiest to access if you remove the ECU mount plate. Since this one doesn't have the length of an extended grease hose, just 1 or 2 squirts of the grease gun is fine. Be sure to reinstall the grease nipple cap if it had one on it. You don't want to blow out the grease seals by putting too much in. If you are working on a VX model like the one I have here, now you can reinstall the ECU mount plate to the partition wall and install the 4 bolts to secure it properly. This next step may also be optional for winterization, but I highly recommend lubing all of your steering, shift, and trim cables and linkage to prevent corrosion and storage. Move your steering left to right, drop your reverse bucket if you have to get best access, but lube all exposed cable components in the pump area and at the control area. I am kind of doing this part blindly, but I can feel the movement of the steering cable while I'm doing this, and I am also lubing the reverse bucket handle mechanism. This next step I also highly recommend you don't skip, and that is treating your whole engine bay with silicone spray or Yamaha Shield to prevent corrosion on engine components. Just spray anything that looks dry and chalky and treat rubber and plastic components. If you spray too much in one area, rub the excess in by hand. Since there is naturally water or moisture inside skis, the silicone treatment helps to prevent rust in the engine bay while being stored. Be sure to do a good thorough job covering whatever you see. It helps everything look good all year. I like to be sure to coat hose clamps, engine mounts, and cable housings because those seem to develop corrosion first. In order to prevent damage to your seat seal and seat latches, I recommend that you coat the seal and latches with silicone spray. Doing this helps prevent the seat seal sticking to the hull and tearing upon removal. Lubing the seat latch helps it operate smooth every time. When you're done spraying both, you can rub in the excess or just wipe it off. When I'm done with everything inside the ski, I like to clean the seats with vinyl cleaner and treat all of the plastic and rubber components with silicone spray. If you take the time to do this now, it helps prevent UV sun damage degrading your exterior plastic and rubber components. I have found taking this step in the past makes cleanup when you pull the skis out for the next season easier. When you're done with wiping everything down, you need to be sure to remove your hole drain plugs, crank your tongue jack up as high as it will go, or just find a safe way to store your skis nose up so they drain properly. You should always store your ski with a quality contour fitted cover. I have found black tip covers are an affordable custom fitted cover if you don't want to drop more than twice as much for an OEM cover. That pretty much wraps it up. Now you can have peace of mind knowing that you did everything needed to ensure your ski is ready for the next season. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you found the video helpful, and if you need any of the products shown in the video, use the links on the video and in the description.